right, welcome to week 2 of online learning. So for you guys, this video is for students who have internet access and you have your Chromebook, so you're working online through the program called Vectr. You're not going to be using Adobe Illustrator because you don't have access to it at home, and that's completely fine. About half the class has access to Illustrator, and then the other half is using Vectr. So, you know, we're just going to kind of work through. You're still going to be able to do all the projects and things like that, and it's going to be fine. So, if you haven't been checking in with Canvas, welcome back. There's still a couple people that I'm missing. So I have rearranged the class, so now you can see that there are a few tabs here. The first tab, which is important, you should check that pretty much every time you log on. Anything that I have that's super important that I need you guys to watch or to do or anything like that, I'm going to put right here. This is like just critical updates, stuff like that. Some of you guys, well, most everybody has done the access quiz. This just basically told me who has internet access, who's using Adobe Illustrator or using Vectr, and that's fine. It also told me who has not logged on to Canvas. So I'm still missing a few students from my 2 classes. Hopefully they get logged on. So if you have friends in the class, just check in with them and see if they've logged in. But for the most part, I have most of my students have been logging on, so that's good. So if you have internet and you're using Adobe Illustrator because you have a computer, this is going to be where your assignments are. But if you have internet and Chromebook, so you're using Vectr, not Adobe Illustrator, this is where all of your assignments are going to be. So here you have online week 1. This is just a header, so it's just like a tab. And so here's your vectr.com lesson. So this right here is a page. So a page is just where I put information. Where it has a pencil, that means it's an assignment. So this means you have to turn something in here. And see how it's got a point system? So that tells me that, you know, you have to actually do something, like it's worth points. And then here last week we did this Guess That Logo quiz. Now I'm going to change this to where it doesn't actually affect your grade. I really just wanted you guys to take the quiz because it's kind of fun and you get to look at 99 different logos and see how many you actually recognize. So it's pretty interesting. A lot of people have taken it and a lot of people have scored around the 60s and 70s, which is not bad. But I also don't want it to hurt your grade just because you don't recognize logos. So I will be taking it out of the grade book to where it doesn't actually affect your grade. So don't stress on that, okay? So here we are on week 2. So week 2 right here. This week's assignment is a personal logo design assignment. So I'm going to click on this so I can open it up and show you guys what we're working on. All right, so this logo assignment we're going to be working on for the next 2 weeks. All right, you have 2 weeks to do this. Here is the assignment. I'm going to break it down for you guys. So here's the design brief. Design a graphic logo to represent yourself and explain the symbolism of the various elements used in your logo. The logo should be a creative symbol, appropriate. Make sure all your stuff is appropriate, guys. Or mark representing you and your interests. The logo may use text, but it must be combined with symbols. Project criteria. So basically, you're going to be creating a logo for yourself. All right, your own personal logo, which is pretty cool. So what does this logo need to have? First steps. There's going to be 4 parts to this. First step is brainstorming, which you're going to be doing some sketching. You're going to create a list of possible symbols that represent you, about 20 ideas. From the list, select 2 symbols and try different combinations of them together. Play with negative space, angles, cropping, etc. So it's really important that you guys actually sketch out some of your ideas. I don't care if it's in a sketchbook or lined paper or on napkins. I honestly don't care, as long as you're sketching stuff out, because it is really important for you guys to get these ideas out. Vectr or Illustrator are not designed for you to do your rough drafts on the computer. It takes too long. It's a lot more effective to actually sketch out your ideas on paper and then pick your best idea and put that on the computer, okay? So I actually went through and found some sketchbooks from when I was in college, and I always use sketchbooks for everything. But I did like this Jello project, and I sketched out what different packaging would look like, and I wrote like notes next to them. I sketched out some business cards and just different designs, rounded corners, square corners, some different packaging, okay, some different posters. Everything is always sketched out first. So this is a habit, and I still do it even to this day. If I'm going to design something, I sketch out like what is in my head. I get it out on paper, and sometimes it looks great. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted it to look like. I'm going to put it in the computer now. And sometimes it looks so off. So it's really important for you guys to take that time and sketch things out. For this project, how you should do it is you should start piece of paper, don't care what kind of paper, and you're going to start by creating a list of words that explains who you are. So write down words that you identify with that really express who you are as a person, your interests, your likes, all that kind of stuff. So, my list, I might have words on there like artist and creative and teacher and caring and stuff like that. Then once you have a list of about 20 words of things that you're interested in and make you who you are, then start linking those words to symbols. So if I put teacher down on mine, a symbol for a teacher might be an apple. I put artist, a symbol for an artist might be a paintbrush or a palette. Okay, so you're going to kind of take your word list and figure out how those can be symbolized. Okay, now you'll have like a list of symbols, and then you're going to start playing around with, combining those symbols. So your logo has to either have 2 symbols or 1 symbol and 1 letter. So you can do a symbol like a paintbrush. For me, like let's say I was doing a paintbrush with the combination of the letter for my first name, so a D. So a paintbrush and a D, and I would kind of combine those together and see how I could try and make those work to create this logo. So it's really important for you guys to really think about how they work together. So once you've come up with your list of words, you've written down a bunch of symbols, now you're going to start sketching out and seeing how you can combine them together. So you're going to effectively combine 2 symbols or a letter with a symbol to create your logo. So this is going to be your own logo. It doesn't have to have a letter. It can just be 2 symbols. That's totally fine. And then once you've sketched it all out and you've played around with this and you've made multiple sketches and you finally found that one that looks really cool, then you're going to take that and you're going to put it into Vectr. And using all the tools in Vectr, which I know there's not as many tools as Illustrator, but they're still there, you're going to use the tools in Vectr to create your logo and make it digital. All right. The last step, once you've created it, it looks really cool, it's all done in Vectr, you're then going to write up an artist statement. Now, when you're creating your logo, I highly recommend that you try it out in multiple different colors, and if you're using text, try a bunch of different fonts. If your favorite color is blue, don't always get stuck on blue because maybe your logo will look better in red. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to try different colors. So after you have it all done, it's finalized, you're going to create an artist statement to explain your logo, and this should be typed and turned in along with your logo. How you guys are going to turn in your logos, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either save the Vectr file, which it'll probably save it on your Chromebook into your Google Drive, and then you'll have to attach that, or you can just take a screenshot. Okay, so open it up in Vectr, take a screenshot, and then turn that in, and then type up your artist statement in Google Docs, and then turn that in as well. You can even copy and paste it into the submit assignment here. Your artist statement should have meet these areas. So it says an artist statement is a written explanation of the art given by the artist. It explains the conceptual ideas behind the art that may be missed by the viewer. Basically, you're going to explain your logo. So list and explain each symbol, text, color, etc. So anything in your logo, explain it to us. Identify why each part represents you. How does this relate back to you? Jar. Aww. I'll get her in a second. Overall, why does this best explain who you are as a person? What are the biggest strengths of your logo? And why do you think this is? And then what is an area of focus you think you could improve on for next time? So for the artist statement, there is actually no wrong answers to this, as long as you actually like answer them and you're not just goofing around. So it's really important for you guys to do this. I'm the only one who's going to read this. Nobody else is going to see your artist statement. So, just write what this logo means to you and why you picked those symbols and how you kind of came to those ideas and create it. And you're going to turn both those things into me. Later on this week, I'm going to do kind of a lecture about logos and how to like kind of the design process I go through when creating them. But for the next day or two, I really want you guys to focus on brainstorming, sketching out ideas, creating ideas. If you have a sketchbook at home, that's awesome. If you have just a lined, like regular spiral bound notebook, you can use that. If you just have like paper that you put together, it doesn't matter. Just start sketching out your ideas, but kind of keep them all together so you don't lose them and you find that perfect logo. So if you have any questions or concerns, just go ahead and email me, and hopefully, we can get through all of this. And I will be catching up on grading. I just haven't done much because I know a lot of people are still getting logged on and getting things turned in and stuff like that. And so it's been just kind of a mess. So I will be focusing a lot on that this week. So see you guys later.